We're out here today, we're filming a video on Isaac's Ford Ranger, doing a bit of a modified walkthrough episode of it. But since I got to film the track down and then back up for the video, I figured I may as well do a little separate Mcbrides Beach video as well, and we can, because that's a question I just get absolutely hammered with. Mcbrides Beach, what's the track like? What can I do it? Can I do it in this? Can I do it in that? So I decided to just be a very basic video. It won't really be like all, you know, music and edit and heaps of talking and everything. We'll just sort of do a basic film the track down and film the track back up. We'll do a bit of an explanation of the track as we go, because once we're down there we're going to be filming the walkthrough of his Ranger. So we will get into it now. He's got his mate in his patrol with him as well, so I might try and get a couple of clips of him in his patrol too. Alright, we're into the track now. Just quickly check with Isaac, because I don't even actually know yet what just the main thing that people want to know, which is tyres, suspension and lockers, just so when people watch they know they're seeing the track. So tyres, what size are your tyres?
So I run 285 75 16s,
yeah.
maxi razors.
Yeah, and the lift kit?
It's a 4 in the rear, 3 in the front,
yeah.
with a diff jock from PSI and PSI upper control arms.
And then your lockers, you got twin lock, don't you?
Yeah, I run ARB air lockers front and rear,
yeah.
with a compressor in the bonnet bay.
Alright, sweet.
Yeah.
We'll get into it. Only about 10 metres into the track, you got those massive holes and ruts to contend with at the beginning. Now you can go around them, but it is a heap of fun to go through them. Following those, you wind around the corner a couple hundred metres and then begins the descent all the way down to the beach. Just keep in mind, it never looks as much on camera. These holes and ruts here are a considerable size, and while it's not a super steep track, there is a little bit of steepness there too. This is where it's just about that first gear, low range, let your car idle its way down and flex its way through those ruts and holes. Depending on how much lift and tyres you have, you may need to modify your lines a little bit so you're not hitting your door sills or scraping the underbelly of your car. If you do have a rear locker, it's always a good idea to engage them on these rough, rocky downhill sections where you are lifting those rear wheels. It makes a massive difference in helping keep your car under control as it keeps those rear wheels spinning at the same speed. What you've seen so far has all been the main section of the track, which you have to go down, but then all this footage from now is on the hard split about a third of the way down. So you don't have to do all these sections that are being filmed now. There is another track off to the right on your way down, which is much easier than this one. So just to quickly break it down, if you can get that first section done, then the easy track is going to be a breeze for you. It's easier than the first section. But if you're looking to step things up a little bit from that first section of the track, then you definitely might want to consider giving the harder option a go. These rocks here you got to squeeze past would definitely be one of the harder sections. It's not too bad, it's just about picking that right line to avoid any damage to your four-wheel drive. It's only a very short track and it's not long at all before you're down on the beach. This is basically every section of the track filmed. This is the last bit. Can get a little bit tricky. You have to make sure you pick your correct line, as the vehicle normally will lean over into the bank and to the rock there. Once you're through that, you got the final drop off down onto the beautiful Mcbrides Beach. Made it down to the beach here. So that was a hard track. It's actually easier than it used to be. It used to be harder. It seems to be getting like just flattened out from all the cars coming down the beach. A little bit of rain here, but not too bad a day. We have to try and work these showers a bit. We got the car set up here, so we're filming the walkthrough of it now. That'll take maybe 2-3 hours, I don't know, and then we will head back up out of here. Alright, filming the walkthrough of the car, so it took us a good couple of hours there by the time you talk and run through everything and then go back and do all the slow-mo overlays and everything. Sort of had to wait for the showers a couple of times. Such a beautiful spot down here in Mcbrides. Just going to head back up out of here now, so we'll film the drive out for the video, plus for see what the track's like on the way out. We've taken hard tracks. There's an easy track over the side which comes up halfway along, but we'll do this first hard section. And so here we go, straight back up the way we came in. For this track, definitely a good idea to lower your tyre pressures, particularly since you are coming down to the beach after. Around that 16 psi is normally a good pressure to run. Now the Patrol doesn't have any lockers, but it does have 35s and plenty of suspension travel, which is enough to get it through this track with ease. Makes up for not having those lockers. Now the track was quite wet this day we drove it. We'd had a fair bit of rain in the prior days, plus even on the day. Now it doesn't make it a heap more difficult in the wet, but it definitely makes it that little bit more slippery and challenging. Now keep in mind, both these four-wheel drives are reasonably well set up four-wheel drives with experienced drivers, and they did make it look quite easy. I have seen people struggle a lot more on this track. This mud hole on the track, nothing to worry about. I've never ever seen anyone bog there. It's got a very hard bottom. You can take it nice and slow. Alright, so that's the hard track done. There's the easy split down there, so you can bypass all that. The rest you have to do. And this is where you're going to struggle in those more standard four-wheel drives, because a lot of holes and ruts here. This hole on the track here has actually become really big, and it's hard to get through it without sending your four-wheel drive into that tree next to it. Isaac had a little bit of a go, but he was too worried about smashing the side of his four-wheel drive on that tree, so he backed up and then picked a slightly different line. Then you've got a few 100-meter hill climb all the way up out of there with those big holes and ruts in it. Now if you have lockers or plenty of suspension travel, you can pretty much just head straight up the middle and let your car do its thing. But if you don't have those, you're going to have to work those sidelines and really straddle those holes to work your four-wheel drive up through it. This is the section of track that does catch a lot of people out. I may not look it on camera, but those holes, ruts and steps there are of considerable size, and without that locker or heap of suspension travel, it can be hard to get your vehicle up there. Alright, that's it. Back out of the Mcbrides Beach track. If you're new to four-wheel driving, definitely a bit of a challenge. More experienced four-wheel drivers, it's quite an easy track. Stock vehicles, if you really know what you're doing, you can manage it, but if you don't, or you're sort of, you know, mid-range four-wheel driving, I wouldn't do it. Good high risk of damage. Such a fun track, but awesome spot down at the beach there. Finished up, filmed that walkthrough video, filmed this video.